Hello there and welcome to The Journal, the show that showcases the best that Centennial College has to offer.
That's right, Michael. Today we'll be learning about green fashion, fanatic fandom, and how to make delicious treats that will be sure to satisfy any sweet tooth.
But wait, that's not all. We have a wide variety of music from up-and-coming artists to our musical guests, Mike Malley and me, Expert Warrior is the name of a band.
Yep, that's the name of it. We've got all this and more, so let's get to it.
Our first documentary is about a fresh new rock band, Lelia and the Agrestics. This is a diverse group of musicians who are making their mark in Toronto's music scene. Check them out.
I sing in a band called Lelia and the Agrestics. We're pretty new, but it's really fun so far. I really love it. We were going through different names and we were meeting other bands and stuff at the same time, figuring out what's a good band name, and we realized just how awkward we are and kind of shy and just strange sometimes. And that's exactly what Agrestics means. It means awkward and rude. So we kind of liked it. Sarah I met because I put up an ad online, and I know it sounds really lame and it's gonna be like lonely girl seeks friend, but it was singer-songwriter looking for a band. And she was actually with a different band at the time, but I kind of went to her and I was like, you want to be in my band? And I kind of stole her away. So that was Sarah. Dustin I met serving at St. Louis in Scarborough. Randomly, he was friends with some of the regulars that I knew, and they're like, he's a drummer, and I was like, want to be in a band? And then the next was Mally, and Mally was friends with a few of my friends from Centennial College, and they're like, no, Mally's not really into your style of music, and blah, 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 like, he's not gonna like it. So I asked one of my other friends, and they're like, well, why don't you just ask? And he showed up so excited. He baked homemade banana chocolate chip muffins and walked in the door with them, and Sarah and I were like, well, you're in, like, there's no question. It doesn't matter if you can play or not. Baked us muffins. Russell, and he was also off the internet, and we just really needed a lead guitar, and we auditioned so many, and they're all so weird. They're so weird, and he showed up, and he was awesome, so that's how we got them all. All right, so we have a show coming up in a couple of days at the Smiling Buddha, and it kind of sucks because we just lost our rehearsal space in Scarborough, and it was kind of like our home for a bit.
What's up? It's Mike Malley with Smiling Buddha. Got a show tonight. Playing with City with the Sea, great band from Hamilton. They played with us at the Rivoli about a month ago, and they invited us here today for the show. So, we wanted to show up and, support them. They're a great band, man. They have a really similar sound. So it's really cool to, to be around them and stuff. And, so we're just here setting up now, and I guess we're going to do a sound check. So
every time we play a show, no matter if it's acoustic or it's full band or what it is, we always warm up in the women's bathroom to practice, to rehearse. Yeah, because or else I get too nervous. I gotta get all my nervous energy out, and then all the girls come in and they're like, what the hell's going on in here? And then like, la 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 la, in the bathroom, and they're like, what is this? I'd be pretty sketched out too if I walked in and there was a girl just singing to herself in the bathroom, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
the key to our success. Some bands carry around a lucky rabbit's foot.
Hey, 1, 2, 2, check.
I carry a lucky rabbit. He has a mustache.
1, 2, 2.
That's him right there.
1, 1, 2, check.
Cool.
Well, we played at the Smiling Buddha for the first time. We've never played there before, actually. And I think it went pretty good. It's only our third time ever performing anywhere. I mean, like, other than acoustic things. So I think it went pretty good.
I had so much fun. Like, you know, regardless of where we play or how many people show up or how good or bad we sound, like,
feel
I don't
fun.
care, man.
I don't
Yeah.
do it for any other reason than fun.
Yeah.
I feel better about that show than any other show we've done.
I honestly get more nervous when there's less people in there because they're more. It can be a room of 4,000 people, and if they're not listening to you and they're not into what you're doing, it doesn't matter, right? But if there's one person in there who's staring at you and intent and just on you, it's terrifying, but it's the best feeling in the world because it means they're really listening. So no, it has absolutely nothing to do with how many people come out. It's who's listening, and there were a lot of people listening in there, which is awesome.
I'm hungry. Can we take a break?
Yeah, sure, Michael. We don't have a show to produce or anything. But you should go ask Rebekah for some food. I hear she brought some tasty treats.
Hey everyone! Today you're watching Victoria's cooking show, and as such, my name is Victoria. So today we're gonna make Flirty Brownies, and they're called Flirty Brownies because they flirt with every one of your taste buds in that mouth. Pretty good. So the things you're gonna need for the Flirty Brownies are as follows. First, you're gonna need some cookie mix. Next, you're gonna need some brownie mix. Next, you're going to need some Oreos. And here we have the double stuffed Oreos, which are obviously better. Now you're gonna need as many eggs as it calls for. You're gonna need 1/2 of a cup of butter. And also you're gonna need some vegetable oil, but in our case we're using canola oil. I don't think it really matters as long as you have some oil to put inside of the mix. You're also gonna need your baking utensils, which is just a mixing bowl, something to mix, and you're gonna need a pan to put everything in. Okay, so first we're gonna make the cookie dough because it's gonna be the base of our Flirty Brownies. So to make cookie dough, you need the cookie mix, 1 egg, and a 1/2 cup of butter. First, we're gonna put the egg in. Perfection. Yes. Okay. Next, we're gonna pour in just the whole 1/2 cup of butter. Seems like a lot, but butter is what makes everything good. All right. Scrape it all off in there with all that good stuff. Okay. So now it's time to get your hands ready and dig in. So here we are mixing all this. This is the best part I find of making cookies, is just getting your hands in there and mixing it all up. Okay, so we're gonna put it aside and we're gonna make the next ingredient in our Flirty Brownies. Okay, next we're gonna make the brownies for the Flirty Brownies. So you're gonna take your brownie mix and just put it into any mixing bowl that you have at home. Just put the whole thing in there. Let's not waste a drop. Next, you're gonna put in 1 egg. Here we go again with the cracking. And then you're gonna wanna put in 1/3 of a cup of water. Pour it in there and just get all the liquid ingredients in. I try to space them around when I'm making brownies just to make it easier. Don't have all the dust flying everywhere. And next you're gonna need 1/4 a cup of our canola oil. Seems like a lot, but we're making a good amount of brownies. Okay, and we're just gonna pour this in here. Now it's time to mix. Okay. And we're good on the brownies, okay? Next is putting it all together. So now we're putting our Flirty Brownies together. First you're gonna wanna put a first base of the cookies and just put the whole thing in there. So I'm gonna grab it with my hands. Again, we're getting messy, but that's perfectly fine. And just dump it in here. Okay, and we're just gonna press it down. Spread it out to the whole pan because you want it to be a really good base. It's kind of like making lasagna, I guess. this is what the base looks like once you have it spread in well enough. Don't have to be too specific. It's okay to get it a little dirty. Okay, there's everything covered. So you're gonna get your Oreos and just place them, spread them out on the pan. I'm gonna show you like this. You can do patterns if you're so inclined, but just a couple of rows of Oreos is fine. Fill in wherever you can, so they're not all gonna fit. Alright, so this is what it looks like once you have them arranged. Pretty simple concept, not too hard. And next we're gonna put the brownie mix right on top. So take your time with this, don't make too much of a mess. Look at that. And just to make sure that it fills in all the spots, I'm going to suggest that you move it around just a bit. That way it fills it in naturally. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's finished. Alright, and so now you're going to put this into your oven, which we hope you preheated to 350 for about 20 minutes, or until your oven is ready. If you have an oven, that lets me know. So we're gonna put this in the oven and we'll be back. All right, so we pulled it out of the oven and this is what it should look like. So we're just gonna leave it out for 20 minutes. Let's just leave it at that. And then we'll come back and eat these. Okay, so just separate a piece. The first piece is always the hardest one to get out. Hope you don't mind, but I'm using my fingers a little bit. Ooh. Oh my goodness, look at this. This looks glorious. Look at that. I cannot wait to just get into these. And there we go. Dig in. It's so good. Oh my god. It tastes like Jesus. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed these as much as I did.
Cue host.
Next up, we'll watch a green fashion show.
What's a green fashion show?
Yep, that's why we make these docs, Michael. Let's find out.
Hey everyone.
Like fill us in on like what's happening right now.
Yeah. What's happening right now?
Yeah, like what do you have to do still?
What isn't there to do?
I'm Ben,
I'm Carly.
and we're the MCs.
We're pretty much just introducing all the different organizations, introducing all the models and what everyone's done for the show. Bryan is the owner and the creator of World Salon and World Products.
That's right.
And him and his team here are here tonight to do all of our 58 models, hair and makeup.
It's coming along nicely.
Is it going well?
Yeah, really well.
Great.
It's looking great.
Hi, I'm Bonnie. I'm head of designers for the Green Fashion Show. So I've been working on matching up the models with their designers, just running back and forth between the girls getting their hair and makeup done and the girls who are going to be putting their garments on so we can do the dress rehearsal.
Yeah. And then you're going to get them absolutely quiet. Yes. Yes. And then we're going to begin MCs. We're going to already have models up there to begin, just so we can begin right on time. Yep. But obviously I'll come down and explain. Even before we've started the show, Miss Butler, come here. We need to give them a cheer. So let's just go.
a dream that I created to be able to end the cycle of poverty. So if you take a look at some of my accessories and necklaces that I'm wearing tonight, those are all Nationware's products, and they all provide equitable employment. They're made of sustainable, renewable, local materials, which means it not only gives people money to be able to buy their everyday necessities, but they can also send their kids to school and support community projects. As well as Malcolm and Miss Butler, they also put in a lot of time and energy, so we would like to thank them. Awesome. And really enjoy. Thank you all for coming. I hope you had a great evening.
I'm still hungry, Shayla.
Michael, we talked about this already. Stop it!
Can we not play any more pieces about food?
Sorry, Michael. I can't promise you that because Bryan's piece is next. I hope you like pasta!
First of all, we're gonna fill the pot with water, cold water. Then we're gonna put that on to boil for the pasta. As soon as we get that on, we'll start making the sauce. So that hopefully everything's ready at the same time. All right, cover that. Oh, we add a little salt to the water. There we go. We cover that and wait for that to come to the boil. In the meantime, we'll start our sauce.
You shouldn't start the gas if you're not.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the base for our sauce is just strained tomatoes. It has just tomatoes and a little salt. Give that a quick stir, put it on the heat. We'll add a few, whatever vegetables you have in the fridge. You can add peppers, onions, green peppers, whatever you want. Put that down to a simmer. What we're going to do is add spices. To add more time, we would use fresh herbs, but you can use dried is fine. So you can add things like onion powder, garlic powder. In this case, we'll use roasted garlic powder. It's a little smoother. And first, a little fresh ground pepper. We'll put that in there as well. Lower that heat a little more. Roasted garlic, onion powder, oregano, and the secret ingredient, a bit of sugar. Stir that. And then we just let that simmer on low heat until our until our pasta is done. Okay, the water's now boiling. We can add our pasta. So we just follow the package instructions, stipulate for 2 portions, 2.5 cups. So we just measure roughly 2.5 cups, filling some on the corner. There we go. Close enough. We have to wait till that comes to a boil again. And we boil it off for about, I would say, 8 minutes. And we'll give it a stir just periodically, every couple of minutes or so. You just get in there, stir it around so it doesn't stick. Yeah, that can actually probably come off the heat now. And what we'll do from there is we'll add our sauce to that. We'll add an appropriate amount. We'll add a little bit at a time, give it a stir. You don't want too much in there. Here. All right, now to that we can add a little Parmesan cheese, a little more pepper if you want, and it's ready to go.
So, Michael, got any dinner plans for tonight?
Shayla, you know I don't.
Well, neither does Artemis, so let's take a look at all dressed up but nowhere to go.
Welcome to another edition of All Dressed Up and Nowhere to Go. My name's Artemis and I'll be your host for the evening. Tonight's Saturday night and of course, I'm home because that's where I am all the time. So basically, as you all know, I'm pretty much the best chef in the world. And tonight we're gonna make this extensive meal that's gonna blow your mind. So are you guys ready? Let's do this. On this sexy, seductive Saturday soir, we'll be making soup and sandwiches. I guess S is the word of the day. So for tonight's din-din, basically for the soup, what we're gonna do is get ready instant soup packages. Because, let's face it, we're the best chefs in the world and the best chefs do things in 2 minutes. Okay, and then for the sandwich, we need bread because you need bread to eat a sandwich. Then we're gonna do shaved turkey breast and not salami because we're trying to lose weight here. Then we're gonna have some cheese and lettuce. Lettuce good, cheese bad, but for flavor, both of them. Then we're gonna have tomatoes to add color and texture and some sliminess. And then we're gonna do onions last but not least because I'm Persian and it adds flavor to everything and you need this. Okay? So here we go. So basically for tonight's dinner, we're gonna start with soup because soup is so sexy. We're gonna take our pot and we're gonna fill it up. You can read the ingredients. I feel like, I don't know how many cups it says to read, but just read the label. Okay, I feel like that's enough. So, we're just gonna go over here to the stove, put it on high, and then we can go start our sandwich, right? While that's boiling. And there we have it, cut bread, perfect. Step 1 is done. Next step is the cheese. Don't worry guys, I'm not gonna eat it. This is not a sandwich for me, so put as much cheese as we want on it. Cut thinner slices because it'll taste better that way. You don't want chunks of cheese in your mouth because it's not gonna taste good. Last slice. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna put on the shaved turkey breast. I mean, you could always get it sliced, but it tastes so much better shaved, just like shaved legs. I don't know how that makes sense. So we're just gonna put it on. If you wanna load it up, you can load it up. If you want a thin layer, you can put a thin layer on. You can do whatever you want with the turkey breast. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the next step is tomatoes, woohoo! Tomato, 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 tomato. Okay, so basically you can cut them however you want. You can dice them, you can slice them. I'm just gonna slice them for the purpose of this. For you guys, just go in easy motions. Oh my god, I'm the world's best chef. I don't know why I'm not married yet. The perfect wife. Okay, and once you've got them diced, put them in and put them on. There you go. Tomatoes. It's my favorite time. Onion time. Oh, I'm kidding. Okay, so basically we're gonna take an onion. You need to make sure all the skin is off of it. So you just cut it. And then you cut the other end off. So you have both ends off. Make sure everything is gone around it. All the crap. I don't like this green part either because I don't like the color green. And there you go. So then you just start cutting it. And then you just sprinkle the onions on as much as you want, and pretty much you have an award-winning sandwich. Yep. I feel like it's award-winning. Take that, Subway. Okay, now we're gonna make soup. Follow me. Oh, and the water's already boiling. Usually when it's instant soup, there's a little package of whatever. You just pour it in. Throw the rest in the garbage. You pour the little powder on, and it should be ready instantaneously, okay? Oh, wow, it's so gosh darn hot. Be careful, okay? But look at this steam. It could really open up your pores, and you could do your own spa thing at home. You know, that's for another show, though. Looks like it's ready. I can't wait to eat this with my dog. So I guess that's your sexy Saturday night. I hope Bring It On's on TV or Aladdin or something really exciting and cool like that. Anyways, I'm Artmiz Rahimi as your host, and have a lovely Saturday night.
Well, you're right, Shayla. That was downright nauseating.
I know. You know it. Next, we take a look at the life of an aspiring hip-hop artist.
Yeah. So like the grade 9s and 10s go in the morning, they write their test for half of the day, and then for the other half of the day, like they're just supposed to have like some presentation. 11s and 12s don't even have school today. So like every school after literacy test is doing something today. FX, all the kids are doing. I might fall out of the sky. 100 deep, yeah, that's the fam. 100 riders by my side. I go hard, I keep it real, I swear to God. I'ma do me if you hating, I ain't worrying about y'all. Swag so sick, I need some ginger ale. I'm with a little fly thing, call it Tinkerbell. First I pull up something on them, it's a blessing. Alright, let's roll. Damn. I don't know if I'm nervous or if I'm not nervous. And that's making me nervous. So what I came here today to do is to influence you guys to start your own movements within your communities. at the club, the owners, they said, you rap, you can perform at our club. If you do one thing for us. I said, what's that? They said, you gotta bring 100 people with you to the club. And I thought, how am I gonna get 100 people? Right? So I started a campaign. I started making sweaters with all my friends. And I said, we're all gonna get together, we're gonna go to the club, and we're gonna raise money for a charity. Right? And we ended up just giving it to the church and let them decide what charity, because we just didn't do the right research. And we just didn't want to do it. But we said we're gonna get together, we're gonna go to this club, and we're gonna have our own party. So they asked for 100 people, they ended up getting 150 people. But I like the look of 100 on the sweater much better, so we just kept it at 100.
So fly, I might fall out of the sky. 100 deep, yeah, that's the fam. 100 riders by my side. I go hard, I keep it real, I swear to God. I'ma do me if you hating, I ain't worrying about y'all. Flow so cold, need an aspirin. Stay up on my grind, I'll never be a has-been. How you feel?
Swag, 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 swag. Thank you guys so much, guys. That was so much fun. I love partying with you guys. You guys rock.
3, 2, 1, start.
So, next up, we have a documentary about fan culture, looking at two sides of the spectrum. One focusing on cosplaying and fan fiction.
Here it is.
I'm Sephirina, and I like cosplaying. I've been interested in what is known as anime, which is the Japanese word for cartoons and animation. And I was introduced to it when I was really young. My dad was actually really into Sailor Moon. He thought it was really cute. And so I've been watching it ever since I was younger. And that kind of led to me watching tons of other Japanese cartoons.
My name's Teresa. I've been in fandom for 7 or 8 years.
I think it's a little natural for people to want to be like the things that they're watching on TV and in these cartoons, you know? It's like dressing up like them is the closest you can be to being who you idolize. And when I was younger, I wasn't idolizing Britney Spears or any of these pop stars. I was idolizing these anime characters. They had crazy hair and got cute costumes, and I loved it. I wanted to be like them. So before I even knew what cosplay was, I was cosplaying.
Fan fiction, it's obvious from the name. It's fiction written by fans about different stories. So there can be extensions on canon or original alternate universe stories.
Cosplay is dressing up as a video game character or an anime character or a character from manga, Japanese comic books.
The original forum community was LiveJournal, and it was the first real place where people from fandoms could come together and share their fan fiction, their fan art, kind of get it out there and start forming these little families.
The internet really opened my eyes to what a good cosplay was, and that there were other people that were interested in these things. And it wasn't completely weird, because I thought I was completely weird. I was dressing up like a cartoon character, you know? And I didn't have anywhere to do that either. The first time I dressed up was when it was a theme day at school. So when I found out about conventions, I was ecstatic. I was so happy.
Conventions are when you take the online community and you bring them to the real world. So there's conventions for the horror genre, conventions for, sci-fi. There's conventions for basically everything.
They set up big warehouses just filled with people selling and trading their own drawn art pieces. It's a great place to meet people as well, and actually meet people that are interested in the same things that you are. And so the first time I went to one, I was terrified and ended up leaving like almost immediately, because I was with friends who didn't really think it was cool, and I was like, oh yeah, this is lame, I don't want to be here. And the next year I went back and I was dressed up as I was in this little dress that was like Pikachu from Pokemon. and it was amazing. It was really great. So many people came up asking to take photos of me, and I even got this little boy who's dressed up just like Ash, and it was so cute because I was giant. And I had a great time. It really opened my eyes that it was okay. It's okay to just want to dress up like these things and want to be somebody else for a day, even if they're not real.
One of my favorite things about being a writer and a participant in the fandom culture is that you get to take these characters that you really love and these stories that you've really gotten to know and expand on them and make them your own, and it's really, it becomes really interactive, and you know, you participate, you can add something of yourself into this wonderful wide community.
I think it's a really important thing to talk with other people that share your interests, especially when it comes to communities that are kind of small, like cosplaying and like Japanese pop culture, or even, you know, writing fanfic or doing anything like that. I think it's important because as sad as it is, you can really embarrass yourself. I've read so many, what's known as con horror stories, where people go to conventions or meet up, you know, at a cosplay meetup or a fanfiction meetup, and they completely embarrass themselves, they embarrass the people around them, and I think that's one of the reasons why these communities get such bad names and such stigmas, because there's these people out there that are making us look really bad. You know, we're not these people that are all total creeps and total weirdos. We have other interests and we go to school, we have jobs, we live our lives. It's just that we have these interests that just aren't as popular as some other ones. If anything, cosplaying has actually opened up a lot of doors for me. Because of cosplaying and meeting more people that are interested in cosplay, I was actually able to secure a few really great opportunities, like working at these conventions. Yeah, I get to host all these panels and talk about what I love so much. I get to talk about anime and manga and what I like about it, you know, and I get to show off my costumes and actually say, like, I'm doing this right. You should want to be like me because I'm doing this costume right. And have people actually respect me for it, as opposed to thinking that I'm lame or embarrassing. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I hate to break it to you folks, but this is all the time we have for today. I've been one of your Fabu hosts, Shayla Vaughan, and to end off the show is Michael Johnsen and Michael Malley, the Expert Warriors, and they're playing Long Johns.